Welcome to Columbus, Ohio, where three-time Player of the Year Jason Belmonte is the top seed in the first major of the 2017 PBA season. The Barbasol PBA Players Championship is now. There was a time when it seemed Jason Belmonte was nearly unbeatable. 3 consecutive USBC Masters. And back-to-back victories in the PBA's signature event, the Tournament of Champions. But Belmo's last win was 2 years ago, and though he's come close, Belmonte's come up empty-handed, finishing second 5 times. Belmonte is the #1 seed today. Is this the day he finally breaks that losing streak and captures major title number 7? Welcome inside a sold-out Wayne Webb's Columbus Bowl in Columbus, Ohio for the Barbasol Players Championship, a major on the PBA Tour. Let's meet our 5 finalists. Here's in-house MC Dennis McCamery.
Welcome to the 2017 Barbasol PBA Player Championship. Here are your finalists. With 1 PBA Tour title, the #5 seed reigns from Plano, Texas. Give it up for Connor Pickford. The #4 seed is a 3-time and current member of Team USA from Wichita, Kansas, A.J. Chapman. The #3 seed holds multiple European Bowling Tour titles from Gothenburg, Sweden. Make some noise for Martin Larsson. The #2 seed holds the record as the youngest player in PBA history to win a major championship from Austin, Texas. Give it up for Anthony Simonson. The #1 seed is the 3-time PBA Player of the Year from Orange, New South Wales, Australia, Jason Belmonte.
You think this place is jacked? It sounds like the Horseshoe in here. Welcome you. Along with Randy Peterson, I'm Dave Lamont. We'll hear from Kimberly Pressler in just a moment. All right, this is all about Belmo today in a lot of ways, Randy. Made a lot of final shows last year, all over the place. Didn't win any. So how do you grade Belmo's 2016?
Well, he had a good 2016. It wasn't a great 2016, but like you said, he made 6 telecasts. He was 7th in earnings and 2nd in average. But when you've dominated this tour the way Belmo has the last 4 or 5 years, I think the expectations become unrealistic. Here was his last win 2 years ago at the Tournament of Champions. Listen, Dave, there's nothing wrong with Jason Belmonte. He dominated this event from the 2nd round on, and he's 1 win away from capturing his 7th major. Belmonte's fine.
And he's going to have to wait around a little bit as the #1 seed as we go up the step ladder. Our opening match will be the brand new PBA Tour member A.J. Chapman, the 4th seed, taking on Connor Pickford. Then Martin Larsson, the veteran from Sweden, in the #3 spot. And he seems like a veteran, but he's only 20 years old. Anthony Simonson, your 2 seed. And the #1 seed is standing by with Kimberly Pressler right now.
Thanks, Dave. So, Jason, once again, you dominated a major coming into this, and I know that we've had this conversation before, and you have to knock down the most pins to win, but what do you have to do physically and mentally today to take this win with only 1 game?
I think I've got to get out of my own way, Kimberly. The previous season, I had a lot of pressure and expectation to try and win a 4th Player of the Year in a row. Didn't win that, so now that's all off my shoulders, and I can just be me and have a little fun. And like I said, get out of my own way. And if I execute 10 really good shots, if the other guy beats me, he's going to deserve it.
All right, well, good luck to you today, and we'll see you in the finals. Guys, back to you.
Kimberly, thank you very much. And Randy, what are we playing on today?
This is the Players' Championship all pattern, 45 feet in length. And watching the players warm up today, this TV pair looks significantly slicker than what the players were playing on all week. The players are going to start pretty straight from the right, and as the pattern breaks down, they'll migrate in.
Well, here's a story right here in A.J. Chapman. This may be the first time you were seeing him. He is a 3-time Team USA member. This is his first tournament as a PBA professional, and he has made the show in a major. And he is a power player, as you can see, and he leaves the 7 to start things off.
He's got a beautiful game, and it was fun to watch him Friday night. It's a great quality shot to start off for this young man, but the pin carry did not cooperate. Great shot, leaving that ripper 7.
Now, he's been on television before in college bowling at Wichita State, but this is a little bit different. Nobody behind him now. If he misses a shot, it's on him. And he admitted to us he's probably going to be a little nervous at the beginning. And that little fist pump of relief, I think, for A.J. Chapman.
Absolutely.
Now Connor Pickford out of Plano, Texas. He picked up 1 title on tour, and he won the Mark Roth Marshall Holman PBA doubles with Anthony Simonson, the number 2 seed. That comes in a little light and then finishes strongly.
Yeah, that's all about ball speed, and talking with the players and how they attack this 45-foot pattern. They all said the same thing. It's all about controlling ball speed. You get too firm, and the bowling ball will blow right through the end of the pattern and miss the break point. Connor Pickford's dad, Mark, a regional champion. He's actually gearing up to hit the senior tour in a couple of months, and Connor wanted to give Dad a shout out, and Connor's looking for his first ever singles title.
And admitted last year was not a great year for him. One of his toughest as a professional. He's in his 7th year at only 24 years old. He could fix all that today. Let's go, Connor! Yes! That's how you do it. 9-pin was a little reluctant, but it took a little punishment.
Beautiful shot and a great start for Connor Pickford. It's exactly what you want to do to a rookie making his first ever telecast. You put pressure on A.J. Chapman immediately, and you see how the youngster holds up.
Now, Chapman has bowled in PBA Tour events before as an amateur. In 2015, the extra frame PBA Lubbock Sports Open, he was 13th. And he was 23rd of the U.S. Open in Vegas last year, again, as an amateur. That's got to hurry. He got a big break there, just leaving the 8-pin behind.
A.J. telling us he rooms with U.S. Open champ Frankie Lavoie. We asked him, well, what kind of television advice did you get from Frankie? And he said, well, not much.
Frankie's soft-spoken, to say the least. Yeah, Lavoie made the final 16 of this event. And this kind of continues the youth movement. This matchup right here, Chapman at 23, Pickford at 24. So Chapman a couple of spares, but Pickford with a double to open things.
And Dave, this youth movement you speak of, in my, in all of my years of being out on tour, I think this is one of the strongest young casts that we've ever had out here. These youngsters that are coming out on tour, they're already seasoned. They come in with confidence. They have the physical ability to come out and win right away, and that's what we're seeing. It's amazing just how good these players are at such a young age.
Well, Chapman is just a real story here with this being his first professional event. He's certainly been around the sport his whole life. His dad has a bowling center in Manchester, Iowa, at Lightning Lanes. So it's in the family. There you go. Just crushed them.
Gets his first strike on national television, and he'll breathe a little sigh of relief after this beautiful shot here. Well, I remember what it felt like being on television for the very first time. You're trying your best to keep the insides from coming outside.
I think even experienced players have that trouble from time to time. That really has to hurry, and the first mistake of the match.
Firm to the right, no good on this 45-foot pattern. And that's just from adrenaline. I think he's a little jacked on this shot and just fires it a little bit too hard. You notice it doesn't get back, leaving the 210.
All right, how are we making this? Or how is he making it?
Got to get the ball to the left side of the 2-pin and throw it into the 10. Over here and then that way.
Just like that.
Well, obviously he was watching me telestrate how to make that.
I'm sure he was watching. There are monitors available for the players, so I'm sure he picked up your tip. This is our Hammer Tough Spare replay. We thought he was jacked before.
Well, he's got to take a deep breath and control the emotions and the adrenaline. It's different when you're bowling on a shorter pattern and you want to keep the speed up. But on this pattern, to shape the ball down lane, you can't get firm with it.
And looks a little better.
One of his ball reps just left to go get him some coffee to go with that sweet roll.
Oh, there's Dad right there. Mark Pickford is here today. A.J. Chapman's parents are here also in the audience. So let's see if Chapman can maintain the momentum off of a perfect third frame. That really has to rush. And that's going to be heavy trouble here for Chapman. 1, 2, 6, 8, 10.
Yeah, it was just wide right. And AJ knows it. No harm, no foul, though, if he can convert this, get the head pin over into here. Ball, or the head pin into the 6-10. The ball takes out the 2 and the 8.
So you're talking about attacking this from the left side?
Yeah, throw the head pin right.
Now he missed the head pin. He knew it. You could hear him grunt a little bit as soon as he threw it, that he knew he missed the head pin, so he's suddenly down 23 after 4 frames.
I asked him Friday night, what are you really good at? What's your A game? He says, I'm really good at hooking it. And we watched him, you and I together, Friday night when the lane started to get real toasty. He could get in, loft the gutter cap. Kid's got a lot of talent.
Right now the pins are uncooperative. That time a 2-8-10 for AJ.
Yeah, and this is where, as a young player making television for the first time, you start sweating like you have malaria. The ball's not reacting down lane. Back-to-back open frames for AJ Chapman if he can't convert the 2-8-10, which I've only seen converted twice on television.
Well, if this were a basketball game, he would call a timeout right here. So back-to-back opens for Chapman, and he shrinks to a 35-pin deficit with Pickford off a strike in the 4th. And this is a remade Connor Pickford, a better model than in the past. Lost weight, changed his diet habits.
Lost about 50 pounds.
Boy, that just marched down the lane with a purpose.
There's a lot of folks that feel like Connor Pickford has not lived up to his abilities, myself included. He's got such a great game and a tremendous release. And, you know, he went through the lifestyle change, lost the weight, as you mentioned. And this is the Connor Pickford that we've been waiting for. And he's made a major telecast, and now he's on his way to capturing our opening match. Just stay in the moment, keep repeating good shots.
A little early.
Yeah, and he didn't like it.
Celebration there, guys. A little early.
I don't know. It sounds like he was talking to you there for a second.
I think he was referring to the fans. They got a little anxious with their with their applauding, and he heard them right before he let go of it. Got it up the lane, went through the nose. He's going to get his bowling ball over into this area, throw the 3-pin into the 4-7.
Well, he's already made a 210 in this match. Oh my goodness! Seriously?
Come on.
It's greatness. Connor Pickford to maintain a 41-pin lead here in our opening match. Slides the 3-pin over in the 4-7, back-to-back big split conversions. Can Connor Pickford continue his winning ways?
By just 4 pins over Andrew Anderson, with Pete just 6 back. Ronnie Russell was an 8th. He was only 22 back. So a great, great finish. Came down to literally the last shot for Connor Pickford, and he couldn't throw it. He had to watch. But so far, it's working out well for him here. Now, how does A.J. Chapman recover after a couple of frames that went against him? Well, he got the... I was going to say, how many more messengers do we have on that shot? He is left with a single pin. Time for our track tech talk. Randy, you're going to break down AJ's game here.
Yeah, bright future. I wanted you to look at all these great positions that AJ gets into. Now watch where the bowling ball goes in the downswing. It falls to the inside of the vertical line. This helps him project the ball to the right. Take a look at where his hand is. Fingers perfectly behind the bowling ball with a little wrist tilt. And folks at home, if you hear the term you're dropping your right shoulder, well, guess what? That's a good thing. Bright, bright future for young AJ Chapman.
So Chapman exhaling a little bit, but he's still 41 down and running out of frames. But if you missed this earlier, he just joined the tour a month ago, and this is his first event as a professional. And he was the number 4 seed for a major championship, first of 3 consecutive Sunday majors on the tour on ESPN. And at that time, a little light in the 10-pin.
It looked like he moved left and tried to get more hand into it to get it to turn the corner. He comes in late, leaving that soft 10, and you know it's such a learning experience out here. You go from cashing to making match play to making a telecast, and then once you get to the telecast, you almost have to learn all over again. You have to learn how to win.
He'll attack the single pin.
It's such a crapshoot, Dave. Once you get to your top 5 and TV, especially for your tournament leader, a one-game match. You know, anybody can win. It's so crazy.
And when your opponent does this to you, it doesn't help.
Right.
If you're AJ Chapman.
So many things need to go your way. You have to throw it great. You have to be lined up. You have to use the right ball, and you got to catch some breaks.
Or you just throw. Oh, I was about to say it was flush in the pocket, which it was.
This bowling ball is going to go right through the pocket and past the 9-pin.
Now, this has been an issue with Pickford in this tournament. He missed 10 single pins during the qualifying and during the match play. Covered that one. He was very disappointed with the spare making. As a matter of fact, in the 7th of the 8th games, right before we picked our 5 finalists, he missed back-to-back single pins, cost him a match, and he took a little walk down the bowling center, ran into Rhino Page, who gave him some encouragement, but basically said, kids, shake it off, get back out there, and that's exactly what happened, and Pickford was able to survive Pete Weber in order to make the show. There you go, that 9-pin went down that time.
Great hand at the bottom of the swing, which helps Connor Pickford create area to the right as long as his ball speed is correct. You saw it right there.
Martin Larson awaits the winner. And looks like we're going to go to the arsenal a little bit here for Chapman. Chapman in his arsenal had the Haywire, Code Black, the Timeless, No Rules Pearl, and the Torrent. And this is a Timeless, and well, let's see, that Messenger's not going to get the job done there. So Chapman down 42. And Pickford pretty much has this in hand. Chapman will smother the 10-pin. Pickford, by the way, mentioned his arsenal, the No Rules Pearl, the Daredevil, and the Code Black. And it looks like, what's Pickford sticking with here, Randy?
No, he's using a No Rules Pearl.
So the ball changed to the Timeless here for Chapman. Well, even the great shots just start going for him today.
You know, I got to tell you, Dave, this is typically how it goes for a first-time player making his first ever telecast. And it's a cruel thing to watch. You know, it's like a prize fight. You always have a plan coming in until you take that first hit in the chops. But I promise you this is not the last time you'll see A.J. Chapman.
Oh, no. I mean, if you can do this in your first time out, there's nothing to say that you can't make other telecasts throughout the season. I don't doubt that for a second, that he'll continue and he'll learn from this. He stays in touch with his college coaches to work on the mental and physical aspects of his game. I'm sure they're taking notes today.
Yeah, Coach Vatican and Mark Lewis out of Wichita State.
And Pickford just too good right now.
Game over.
Yes, Chapman has had his problems, but Pickford has been outstanding.
Right now, Connor Pickford's going to use the 10th frame to make sure he stays lined up when he takes on Martin Larson in the next match.
Well, Pickford came in jacked. He threw a double and was jumping out of his shoes, and then converted a couple of very difficult spares, really splits. And that seemed to really settle him and just made it impossible for A.J. Chapman to win today. So Connor Pickford is moving on. He'll take on the number 3 seed, the veteran Martin Larson. Both players seeking their first major. So inside Wayne Webb's Columbus Bowl, one match in the books. Connor Pickford defeating A.J. Chapman. And now Pickford will take on Martin Larson as we take a look at the good old-fashioned step ladder. Anthony Simonson awaiting the winner, and then Jason Belmonte trying to get back into the winner column today. Meantime, Martin Larson is standing by with Kimberly.
Thanks, Dave. So, Martin, when we talked yesterday, you said that every time you step on the lanes that you want to be a factor. So how do you make yourself a factor today against all these high-rev guys?
Well, yeah, exactly. I don't have the hand that those guys have. I have a couple of years experience. Hopefully that can even out. It's going to be hard. It's really good guys I'm facing, so Connor, it's going to be tough to outstrike. So, but I'm going to try my best for sure.
All right, well, good luck to you today.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you in the booth.
Kimberly and Martin, thank you very much. You're right, he is just low-key in this like crazy.
Yeah, he's downplaying it.
Pickford will be first.
Don't forget, Martin Larson does not have a tour title.
He has won overseas, but has not won in the United States. His best PBA Tour finish, he's been second 3 times. Pickford has a doubles title to his credit, but none in singles. And it's business as usual so far for Pickford.
Connor's doubles title came with the player waiting to bowl the winner of this match, Anthony Simonson. You can see just how how Connor is actually migrating in, and that's what we expected. By the time we get to Jason Belmonte, we could see some airtime, could see some lofting over the left gutter.
And Larson's going to be wide, is going to start with trouble.
Martin deciding to play farther right and going with speed. Gets into that hang zone, 2-4-10.
Well, we've seen a 2-10 made already by Pickford. Going to attack, it just missed. Let's throw it over to Kimberly.
Thanks, guys. I'm joined with AJ. So, AJ, you had a rough start. How much did that affect the rest of your match?
The first couple of frames were pretty good. I thought I executed okay. Threw a bad shot on the right lane on the strike, and left a super washout. And one on the left lane was actually pretty good, the 210. So I got a little confused. My ball wasn't quite doing the right thing. And then I got 9 a couple more times, and it was hard to get something going when my ball was doing the wrong thing, and Connor was obviously pretty matched up.
How much did the nerves play a factor today?
I mean, I was definitely nervous, but I don't think it was terrible. I feel like I executed pretty well for considering the first time I've been on my own single show.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time. Guys, back to you in the booth.
We'll get used to talking to him, Kimberly. I suspect we'll see AJ again. Martin Larson converting, but has not really had a flush shot yet. And we certainly have seen already Connor Pickford with his opening shot in this match. And Anthony Simonson awaits the winner. Came in just a skosh high and leaves the 4-pin.
Pretty good shot here. He's going to make an adjustment and move his feet and his target left at the next time he gets up on the right lane.
Again, single pins and Pickford, not pals this week, but he has covered his single pin so far very nicely.
For Connor, it's all about controlling his emotions. He's obviously throwing the ball beautifully, and it's all about staying in the moment, not thinking or looking ahead. I know that sounds real easy, but it's super easy to think about the big prize. Right now, just focus on each and every shot.
Oh, yes, on the messenger. There's a crowd at the door, but nobody can get in.
Had a couple of looks at tripping the 10 out. Head pin goes to the sidewall. 6-pin goes. I heard a rumor that after our interviews, he actually went out and shot single pin spares for about an hour.
And then
Wouldn't have been
the shiny one on the left.
Wouldn't have been a bad idea, as he has a quick word there with Tim Mack. Then we take a look at Larson.
Changing balls.
Well, in his arsenal, the Phase 2, the Daredevil, and the Timeless. What's he have here?
Daredevil.
No, 3-6-10 this time. So before he was a little light, that time he came in through the nose.
Looked like he tried to go a little bit straighter. His lines got much tighter on that shot.
He's trying to avoid big mistakes.
Remember last night at dinner, getting back to Connor Pickford's spare issues. Remember Sean Rash last night told us that his spare game would be better today.
And he was right. You figured Rash does know what he's talking about. Larson down 13 despite an open in the first frame. So he is far from out of this. There you go. The 8 sweeps out a little bit late. Larson's relieved.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, beautiful shot here by Martin Larson. 8-pin the last to go, and he's like, hallelujah. One for me. In the words of Rhino Page, second Rhino Page mention, good for you.
We'll see how Pickford responds.
Please hook.
Please hook. It did.
There's the adjustment off of the 4-pin.
1, 2, 3.
There is Dad, who mentioned a very accomplished player in his own right. Mark Pickford has regional titles. So does Connor. He's won them in Cincinnati and Spring Hill, Florida, and Mooresville, North Carolina in his career. The only other time that Connor Pickford was in a singles TV appearance, the Viper Championship in Las Vegas, was the #1 seed, but lost to Mika Koivuniemi, the title match by 10 pins.
Did you used to do hockey?
No.
Well, you did great on Mika Koivuniemi's name. I got a hand.
He's been on TV a few times as a bowler, I believe.
Yeah.
So.
But, I mean, that's not an easy name to pronounce out of the box.
No, it is not.
Good call, Timmy. Good call.
So something that Tim Mack said to him, he just complimented.
Yeah, he said, good call, Timmy, good call. And I think he's just continually chasing it left. You follow the oil line towards the center part of the lane. He opens up his angles, and as long as his speed is good, the ball will return.
Well, Tim has had a significant influence on Connor at times. So Larson all of a sudden down 23, coming off his strike, though. And he got it. Mixed him up, beat him up.
Now, a good shot and a good break there to keep Martin Larson in this. One more strike, and he will pull to within 3. Hit him thin and watch him spin. And a great react.
He is a loose cat today. During warm-ups, he almost bumped into Jason Belmonte. And he walked down the approach and gave a bowling ball to a young fan who had a sign that said, "It's my birthday." Took a picture with the fan, then about 5 minutes before we went on the air, he won't be too happy with that. About 5 minutes before we got on the air, he took a selfie with some people in the crowd and tweeted it out.
Well, no surprise, he was a Steve Nagy Sportsmanship Award winner a couple of years back. But, you know, Martin Larson's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. And I know that I can go with that. I can say or speak for a lot of players out here that nobody would be unhappy if Martin Larson were to win.
Gonna have to smother this, though. Oh, boy. I thought that was going to snap toward the 2, and at the last second, it didn't do that. And all of a sudden, you mentioned he could have been down 3, Randy. Now he's down 27. Connor Pickford moving closer to a battle with his doubles champion partner, Anthony Simonson, our #2 seed. Connor Pickford, the #5 seed, dispatched A.J. Chapman in our first match. Martin Larson coming off an open in the 6th, and he will sit as Pickford rides a double into the 6th frame. Both these players seeking their first majors. The 2 players above them in the stepladder have them. One of them has a lot of them. That's Jason Belmonte, the #1 seed.
Connor Pickford looking for his first singles title. Martin Larson looking for his first career title. And Connor is eligible for next week's Tournament of Champions. Martin Larson is not.
And he won't be if Pickford continues to roll it like that.
Yeah, great comment there, David. A great shot out of commercial break for Connor Pickford. Right now, he's working on a 3-bagger, looking to put boots to Martin Larson here with another strike. His lead will increase to 47. Big thanks to John Weber, filling in for Mike Edwards as our statistician. So thank you, John, for all your hard work each and every week on the PBA Tour.
Pickford through the face, and he got it. He broke up 3 splits with that.
Chips out the 4-7-10 late. What a huge break when you're working on a string. To win out here, you've got to be a little lucky. You have to have things go your way. And he made 2 great splits in match number 1. And here's a nice break there, turning 3 into 4.
Well, Larson has no room for error here.
Another ball change.
And there's a bit of an error.
Well, he's gone through his entire arsenal. Now he's throwing a timeless. And Martin Larson knows that his tournament life is quickly coming to an end.
Well, his parents are missing this show. They're flying in from Sweden. Actually, we'll be joining him in Las Vegas in a couple of weeks. Beautiful coverage that time by Martin. Now you can outfit yourself like the pros with official PBA jerseys that are available exclusively at PBA.com. The jerseys are made from high-performance fabric and can be customized for each person or your team. Click on the menu tab of the PBA.com homepage and select the Shop PBA link and get started. Too late, but Larson's going to enjoy it while he can.
He needs a lot of help.
Yes, you do.
Well, there's a crowd at the door, but no one can get in. Martin Larson is having fun with it. You know, his game is so beautiful. You watch the big, tall Swede. He reminds me a lot of John Zerbinski. They're kind of in that same mold. Beautiful games, but that mid-range power, and they get 110% out of what they do.
Is it tough to be a mid-range guy in today's game?
Without question.
And look at that again. Just all the reaction going Pickford's way right now.
Can I expand on your last question?
Of course.
Well, you look at who the last 4 years, who the player of the years have been after we take a look at the Barbasol close shave of the day. Connor Pickford comes in and closely shaves the 1-3, and it's a 5-bagger. So you look at the last 4 players of the year, Belmonte 3 in a row, and now E.J. Tackett. Those two do not lack anything when it comes to power. And it's a little unfair because I would teach more of a John Zerbinski, Martin Larson type of style. A.J. Chapman is in that same category with a little more power. Connor Pickford in that same category.
Yes. Well, with Connor Pickford wrapping this up, it will be the 24-year-old Pickford against the 20-year-old Simonson. We have a streak right now of 6 consecutive majors won by players 25 or younger. Now, Jason Belmonte can slam that down if he wins. He is the top seed, but we are going to have somebody under 25 in the final.
So are you saying that it's probably a little too late for me to win another major?
Never too late. Are you kidding me? Just think Nicklaus at 86 Masters. That's all.
Yeah, he was what, 46?
I want to be there, and I'm going to go, yes, sir, when you get a strike that wins the match.
Little Vern Lundquist.
Uncle Vern is always a good one to quote.
Yes, sir.
So, meantime, a little last-minute strategy or going on undoubtedly for the next match as this baby is over. Martin Larson made a few more friends while he was here in Columbus, but the business was handled impressively for the second consecutive match by Connor Pickford, who's defeated A.J. Chapman and now Martin Larson. Next up, the youngest major title holder in PBA history, Anthony Simonson. UConn on a quest for 100. Gino Auriemma and the #1 Huskies will take on Dawn Staley and #6 South Carolina Monday. It could be their 100th straight win. A streak that dates back to November 23rd of 2014. That's 9 Eastern on ESPN2, streaming live on the ESPN app. And watch ESPN. That game, by the way, Gamble in stores. So going to be tough for the Lady Gamecocks to come up with that victory. Now let's go back to the 2016 Roth-Holman doubles. Anthony Simonson paired with Connor Pickford. And they took out Josh Blanchard and Andres Gomez, 223 to 173. Simonson at that time wasn't even 19 years old, the second youngest, only by a number of days to Norm Duke. That duo standing by with Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, guys. We just saw in the video when you guys won the doubles match together, and you guys are pretty good friends. We saw you hugging over there. So, Connor, do you approach this match any differently now that you're going up against your former teammate and friend?
I would say not at all, because it's just another match, just another game. We both have to make the best shots we can, and just as Anthony said in the last show, knock down as many little white guys as we can.
All right. Well, good luck to you today. Now, Anthony, I'm going to ask the same question to you. You're going up against your friend who's on fire right now. Just took out 2 guys. Do you change anything up?
Nope, it's bowling. It's 10 frames, make 10 good shots, and we'll see what the outcome is.
Simply put, but there you have it. Guys, back to you.
Sometimes simple is better, Kimberly. Thank you very much. By the way, one thing about Connor Pickford we haven't mentioned yet, and we're going to hold that thought since he's not bowling first. It looks like Simonson's going to go first as he disposes of his water bottle. But Connor Pickford had to do something that most people do not like to do, and he had to do it earlier in the week, and we'll tell you what it is after we get our first look at Anthony Simonson, the 20-year-old from Austin, Texas, USBC Masters champion last year when he was 19.
Sorry, Dave, go ahead.
I was going to say 5 TV finals last year.
Using a Reckham to start on the left lane.
And it behaved exactly like the title suggested it might. Who here likes to go to the dentist? Who here likes to go to the dentist when they're competing to win a major championship? That's what Connor Pickford had to do. He had an abscessed tooth, and I think it was Thursday morning at 7:30. He had a 10 a.m. appearance on the lanes. He finally had that thing deleted.
Do you have any more on that story, Dave?
That tooth is history.
All right, well, and so the moral of the story is, and for those young, aspiring PBA professionals out there, remember to always brush and floss after every meal.
He's right, kids. Not only that, he had to put the heat on the dentist and the dentist staff, like, hey, I have to bowl, you know.
Like he had it done that morning, and an hour later, or 45 minutes later, was at the lanes getting ready for a qualifying block.
With a Marlon Brando-esque gauze in his mouth that he kept swapping out after the first 6 games of the qualifying. My brother, he is just locked in.
Yeah, just another great quality shot. He's done it all day. The players really did a nice job of breaking this pattern down the right way, or the correct way, in practice. They stayed far enough right, broke a hook spot down to the right, and then just started to migrate in. Different ball for Anthony Simonson on the right lane, going with a timeless.
All right, so I'll ask the obvious question, why different balls for these lanes?
Because obviously the right lane reacts differently than the left lane. He's standing in front of the bar return, so now it's a 2-step approach for Simonson on the right lane. It's incredible what this young man can do.
At age 20, and we don't want to necessarily say that's everything, but when you realize the maturity to his game and his ability to think on the fly at that age is pretty remarkable. We're off to the races here, kids.
So what he's done is he's trying to mimic his approach on the right lane, so he moves way up on the left lane. It's about 4 steps if you count each one, but if you were to measure them, it's still only about 2.5 steps, so pretty impressive. You'll see players do that a lot nowadays. When they get in front of the bar return on the right lane for right-handers, they'll mimic the same approach on the left lane.
A ring and 10. That shot as good as any of the others we've had so far. By the way, just to cap things off with Martin Larson, during the break, he autographed and gave away the ball he used, one of the balls he used in the match.
It's a good thing he gets them for free.
Again, Pickford will attack those single pins, no problem at all. In fact, Martin is standing by with Kimberly. Kimberly, maybe did you win the trivia contest to get the bowling ball?
I did not win it. He did give it away. Martin, I saw you giving a ball. They were just talking about it, that you gave the ball that you used to away. Yeah. Why are you in such good spirits, even though things didn't go the way they did?
Well, unfortunately, I was a little bit expecting it. Those guys have so much revs. I'd have a little disadvantage going into that match. And when the lanes get like this, pretty tight, and I don't get my ball to read and come back that hard, it was just like, that happens, and just move on and take the next time.
All right, well, good luck to you, and we'll see you in Vegas.
Look forward to that for sure. Kimberly, thank you. Martin, thank you also very much. A little trouble there for Pickford. Now 10-pin got kicked out. He's left with a 6.
First real questionable shot in a while for Connor Pickford. Like he grabbed this one and made it check early, but a nice break crossing over, only leaving the 6-pin. Shot almost struck.
He's been very calm on his spares today. In his opening match with A.J. Chapman, he converted a 210, and then a bizarro combination that I can't even remember, that of 4 pins left behind. There's he has a quick word with ball rep Tim Mack. Simonson perfect through 3. Jason Belmonte awaits the winner. He could have an all two-handed final.
Watch this approach.
I'm not sure how many times in 41 games you can not stop whenever you need to. It's not really that difficult to just walk back.
Let's take a look at when he gets to the foul line on this shot. Watch his slide foot. See how it kind of comes up and out of that?
So what did he mean by, is his mind telling him I should have just not thrown that shot?
Yeah, he...
Gonna go after this and miss.
Halfway to the foul line, he was thinking, his brain's thinking, listen, stop, 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 and he kept going.
Is that an easy thing to do, though?
For some.
For you?
Yeah, I could pull up and out of it when I needed to. Another guy that comes to mind is Chris Barnes. He was always good at backing off. Looks over at the ball return, the cap on the ball return, to make sure he's starting in the right
Can you put
spot.
that sign down, please? Thank you.
So he'll start
just going up and down with it.
From scratch. Spectators are given signs, given a chance to make signs, and just down off to his, when his left eye could see that sign was being raised.
No, it just caught his vision because it's down lane. Did the right thing there. He finally was able to stop and pull back and start over.
And strike.
Thank you.
So right back to Connor Pickford, who has a tiny advantage. By this time in the first 2 matches, Pickford was opening up a larger lead. But here he's got Simonson chasing him, although Simonson did leave an open in the 4th.
His first match that's been close today.
Well, there was a chance for Martin Larson to go to 3 pins down, and instead he went to 27 down. Disastrous frame, and a kick save and a beauty on the 10.
Simonson starts in front of the ball return. Connor Pickford kind of walks around the ball return. And nice pin action. 6 to the sidewall. Snaps the 10 out. When you see that, folks, you know your bowling ball is going through the pins correctly. Big shot here. He can increase the lead to 19.
He was yelling for that all the way. He said, come on, the second he threw it, and now he's got a big open.
Again, the trajectory looked left, and there's not enough oil in the middle of the lane to hold this one on line. There's not enough angle created through the front. This time he goes through the nose and he pays for it.
Well, he's been pretty spectacular when he's had difficult shots. This is probably the toughest of them all. Yeah, missed everything there. So the first significant slip up for Connor Pickford, and he is now for the first time down. As we step aside, a lot of suspense left for this match for the right to play Jason Belmonte to be a major champion at the Barbasol PBA Players Championship in Columbus. Our next NBA Sunday showcase game presented by Verizon Go 90 comes to you from the world's greatest arena, Madison Square Garden. It's Kawhi and the Spurs taking on Kristaps Porzingis, Carmelo and the Knicks at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 Pacific on ABC. With the NBA Countdown with Sage and Jalen getting you ready for the game at 3. Streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN, as are we with Kimberly Pressler. I'm Dave Lamont with Randy Peterson by my side. That is Dustin Abels, Vice President for Barbasol of Media and Analytics. And we thank our sponsor very much, Barbasol, for all of their support.
What's going on with Phil Jackson and the Knicks?
I wish I could understand what I almost said something nasty that I would get in trouble for. What a bad show that is in New York. It's really embarrassing. The Charles Oakley thing, which, you know, remarkably, people came on Oakley's side for almost unanimously. It just hasn't worked for Philip as an executive as it did when he was a coach. They're a wreck, and they've got some talent, too. So does that guy, Anthony Simonson. PBA's Extra Frame is your home for exclusive live coverage of the PBA, PBA 50, and PWBA tours starting Tuesday and continuing all week on Extra Frame. It's the second major, the Fire Lake PBA Tournament of Champions. Yearly, monthly, and 3-day subscriptions are available. Click on the Extra Frame link in the menu section of PBA.com for more information. You get Randy Peterson, you can get Marshall Holman from time to time, and the guys do a wonderful job. Simonson is now dialed in. It is indeed go time. He's opened up 25 on Connor Pickford.
Well, you got to wonder whether or not Simonson and his deep inside line and rev rate is affecting Connor Pickford on the left lane. He just shreds the rack there. Three-bagger, open three-bagger, but it's a 25-pin lead. Connor Pickford stepping up here in the 7th frame, coming off of that open frame in the 6th.
And Pickford did not look sharp in that 6th frame at all. Missed badly on his effort to slide the 4 over to that 10. And that goes through the face, Randy. What's happened here?
Well, you just heard him say there, it's not the right ball. It was the right ball for every match except this one, and it started out as the right ball. The last 3 shots have all gone, the last 3 out of 4 shots have all gone high. Right now, Connor Pickford is second-guessing himself and the bowling ball that he's using.
He will attack. Oh, my goodness. That was amazing.
Yeah, it's not often you shoot the 3-4-7, but, you know, I think the other thing that happens, though, to players when they compete against the high-rev two-handers, Simonson, Jesper Svensson on the left side, Jason Belmonte, is what happens to the oil pattern, how much they transition, how much they break down.
So how does this set up for the final with Belmo? Is this to his advantage or disadvantage what's happening now? To Jason's?
It's absolutely falling right into his wheelhouse.
Okay. Jason Belmonte looking for his 7th major. Is standing by to meet the winner of this match. Looking more and more like Anthony Simonson, but what a quality, classy shot there from Connor Pickford.
You know, I could be wrong, but I think that
Schroeder.
Connor just needed to make bigger moves sooner.
Anthony Simonson has requested a re-rack.
Thank you.
Last shot definitely looked like there was more angle created by Connor Pickford. Right now, Simonson, in driver's seat, can increase his lead to 47.
Two doubles partners who Mark Roth, Marshall Holman doubles titles last year. And that was missed wide. Leaves him with a 210.
Remember the last time he went high in the fourth frame on this lane, how his left heel came off the ground. Well, this time it stays in a pretty good spot, but it looked like he threw it just a pinch hard.
He'll take the count. His lead down to 23 as we get ready for the foundation frame.
Well, you know, when you have a big lead like this, the last thing you want is to give your opponent any type of hope. And Connor Pickford now can strike out to shoot 212. Simonson's still in the 220s, but one more open frame for Simonson. This whole game has changed.
Remember, he's using two different balls, one on the left, one on the right lanes. Devastating strike on the left lane.
And getting back to what you asked me about Belmonte, this is exactly what he did all week. He waited for the lanes to break down to where he could get so far left, start lofting the left gutter cap, and there's nobody in the world better at that than him.
So Connor Pickford in a must-strike situation. No, he stood straight up. That's always the easiest sign for a bowler when they stand straight up after a shot they don't like.
Well, Simonson only needs 9 now in the 10th frame. If Connor picks this up and strikes out, this is what happens when you go high a couple of times. It's in his head that he's got to get the ball going to the right, and he got it to the OB.
Well, the right lane became troubling for him in this match. Got to get this. No trouble.
Honestly, Dave, it was just the one shot in the 7th frame where he went high. Every ball prior to that was in the pocket on the right lane. It was a left lane. He went back-to-back nose dives, one of them involving a split in the 6th. Remember, he kind of crossed over in the 4th, left that 6-pin. Right now he can strike out for 192. Simonson would just need 9 and 2 balls to win by 1. I'm going to tell you right now, though, it's going to take a lot more than 190 or 2-0 to beat Jason Belmonte in the title match. If you're Jason Belmonte watching this, you got to feel like you're kind of like a bulldog salivating over a pork chop.
There's that kick on the 10 that you've talked about many times.
Dave, one more.
And another re-rack being called for.
And anything can happen, quite honestly. I mean, if Connor strikes out and Simonson gets up and goes big 4, Connor will come away with the win. He's taken his time. He's taken a re-rack, and he's given himself every 2 re-racks.
Yeah.
He's given himself every opportunity. Players are allowed 2 re-racks a game.
Well, he's used them wisely.
Well, he's making him show up. I've seen it more than one time where a player forces his opponent to show up in the 10th frame after a commanding lead, only to have something catastrophic happen. Especially when Simonson, being a two-hander, no thumb, and has modified his approach. He's coming off of the 210 split the last time he was on the right lane. A lot going on in Simonson's mind, but this is a big shot here. He needs all 10.
And no.
Fine. Make him work for it. He's got to earn it.
Simonson, 8 on 2 balls. We have a tie. 9 on 2 balls. Simonson will bowl Belmonte for the title.
Left lane.
Watch how this 9-pin gets buffeted, and actually it looks like the 2 pins work against it to hold it up. Well, you heard him say he's got to earn it. I don't know if he said it loud enough for Simonson to hear it, but you see the count for Simonson. Just 9, and that's a strike, and we're finished. 9, and we're finished.
Yep.
Okay.
That looked left out of his hand, and that was almost disaster. I mean, he could have got 5 on that shot, but instead it's the 3-6-10. Should be no problem for Simonson to get at least 9, but this is left the whole way. And I'll tell you what, I promise you, when he let go of it, he was praying.
If he picks up 2 out of these 3, he moves on. Or 3 out of 3 will do. Anthony Simonson, the reigning Masters champion, against a man who has 6 majors and is looking for his first win in nearly 2 years to the date, Jason Belmonte. It's a 2-handed finale with Belmo and Simonson going for that trophy here in Wayne Webb's Columbus Bowl. Go back to 2011. South Point Hotel and Casino in Vegas. Jason Belmonte defeats Mike Devaney 255-238. That was part of the 2011 World Series of Bowling when Belmo won 3 titles.
Mike Devaney gave it a gallant run and a gallant effort, but it was too much Belmo on that day.
So Kimberly is standing by with Belmo right now to get his thoughts pre-match.
I sure am. So Jason, you've been sitting in the wings for over an hour. You just threw some practice shots. How are the lanes developing for you?
Yeah, they actually look a little trickier than they have been playing all week. So I'm going to have to really focus on executing the best shot that I can. There's a lot less room down the lane that we had this week. So whoever throws it the best is going to win.
All right, well, good luck to you. Guys, back to you in the booth.
Dave, watching him in practice, he left the 2-8-10 3 shots in a row. And remember when we interviewed him, he said, for me, the key is to be able to stay firm and aggressive. Didn't look like that's possible now. Remember when he said he had to get soft and he made a mistake? It was a disaster. When your rev rate's that high and you're trying to throw the ball slower, a lot of bad can happen.
So Anthony Simonson starts this match on the left lane, where he had great success in the last match, and he leaves the 4-pin here.
Simonson's 2-handed style is a little bit softer, both with speed and with rev rate, than Belmonte.
We're looking at a guy right here who could have another major in his pocket at 20 years old. He has one already, the USBC Masters.
Will this be the 7th consecutive major won by a player under the age of 25?
Or will 7 be the number for Jason Belmonte's major?
Yeah, great point.
By the way, it's not like Belmo needs a walker to get around. He's 33. You know what I'm saying? He's young. He's in shape. He's lost 22 pounds. He's opening with the timeless. And a little loft right there, and he'll mix them up. And Kimberly.
Thanks, guys. I'm with Connor. Connor, you know what? You had 2 great matches today, but then you got into that 3rd match. What went wrong for you?
The left lane started to go a little bit. I had to switch balls. I kind of gassed one on the right lane a little bit, and I accidentally overcorrected on the left lane and went high to the face. I was kind of forced into a ball change on the right lane to a little bit cleaner ball, and I just kind of lost that lane a little bit. And, you know, you give Simon enough time, he's going to throw a couple doubles together. So
How tough was it going up against one of your good friends?
I actually think it's a little bit easier. I mean, the part that's tough about it is knowing how good he is. And, you know, like I said, you give him the opportunities, he's going to take them. So I wish him the best of luck against Belmo.
All right, that's very kind of you. Thanks so much for your time. Guys?
In case you missed Extra Frame during the week, you've just seen how Jason Belmonte got the #1 seed, throwing that timeless, which, you know, normally you have a hand in developing something. Did Jason have 2 hands in developing that ball?
He
just,
did.
Just thought.
He
Just a
did.
thought. Throw that out there.
He was instrumental in the design and the development. And Jason Belmonte, just after I said how tough it was for him to get the ball around the corner, starts out with a double.
Oh, that's got a hook.
Well, look, get out of there. No, I thought the messenger would clip the 10. He said immediately, look out, it's got a hook.
Doesn't strike from there.
Well, it's the double whammy. He makes a ball change, then says that one's got a hook. It does, and then he leaves a blowout 7-10.
So an early mistake for Anthony Simonson, and Belmonte's in off a double and just scattering pins everywhere. So there you see what Anthony Simonson is trying to do. Remember, he won at 19 last year in the USBC Masters when he beat Dan McClellan. He was the #1 seed in that event. That's a much better ball. Boy, the 8-9 pins didn't stand a chance that time.
So important in big February to get off to a good start with the back-to-back-to-back majors. I mean, this can make or break your entire season. Right now, both Jason Belmonte and Anthony Simonson have a chance to get out to a huge lead by capturing the first major of the season.
Oh, he hates it. And he's probably relieved that that's all there was.
He now loves it.
Yeah, I guess so. But the look on his face, he walked away from that, just peeked over his shoulder just to see what he was going to be left with. And he's got something he can handle.
Pattern is much tighter down lane than it was for Belmonte all week long. And he flamed that one, and he knew it as soon as he let go of it. Fortunate to only leave the 2-pin.
Interesting conversation with him, and we touched on it a little bit earlier in the show. 3-time player of the year going into this season. E.J. Tackett now owns that title. And Belmo told us one of the reasons he thinks he struggled a bit on television last year was that 4th player of the year, which would have been unprecedented in PBA history, really weighed on him anytime he got to where he could see a title.
He was looking at the big prize instead of the little prize. He was looking at the prize at the end of the tunnel and lost focus at the job of hand. At hand.
There you go. 3 out of 4 ain't bad.
Well, he hasn't gotten flush yet, but he's got 3 out of 4 strikes. Belmonte made the top 5 in 16 events since his last win and never came away with a victory. But there's a small victory in and of itself, tripping the 7 late.
Yeah, Belmonte had said, and he talked a little bit earlier at the top of the show with Kimberly, he's kind of flushing 2016. It's a new year. And Simonson with a very similar looking strike. That one also not flush, and Anthony Simonson refuses to let Belmo dictate everything in this match.
Simonson changing to an alpha crux on the right lane, but he's staying with the same ball on the left. Right now, looking to get back into this, he can cut Belmonte's lead to just 2. Yep.
Through the nose.
Looked like the follow-through indicated.
Add another tally to the time that I should have stopped this week.
Looked like the follow-through indicated the ball was going to be left.
Oh, he kicking himself for not stopping.
Watch the follow-through here. See how that hand opened and tried to fan it right?
Needed to tap in and get Connor Pickford to shoot that. Pickford made it earlier today.
Tap in.
Yep, in the opening match. It's like tag team doubles and wrestling. But now Belmonte has the door open at plus 30. You know, you talked about it's been so long, but of any active player, Jason Belmonte still has the third best television winning percentage. Nearly 62%. Only Tommy Jones and Sean Rash. Sean is here today. I think TJ is too. Have a better percentage. And again, you're right. He hasn't been burying in the pocket, but the pins are taking a beating.
Well, when you have a rev rate of over 600 and you throw it 18 miles an hour, I mean, you're going to do this to pins. My thing right now is he hasn't gone flush yet.
Right.
He hasn't been close to being flush yet. And if this continues, he won't have to go flush yet.
In 2009, he was the PBA player and PBA Rookie of the Year. That's only been done 4 other times. That time he didn't go flush
just
either.
a little quick. Just a pinch quick.
Yeah, this is what I was waiting for to happen. Unfortunately, with every shot being light, it was just a matter of time before he threw in too hard. He actually did that in the 3rd frame and got away with it.
Going for it all here, and he can't quite get it. So how does he correct that inability to hit the flush that you're looking for?
It's speed. And remember, he told us Friday night, excuse me, he told us yesterday that it's tougher for him to gear down. It's tougher for him to get softer.
So the lead shrinks to 26.
Simonson, I think it's much easier for him to control his speed in terms of getting softer. I think he struggles when he has to throw it harder, which is easier for Belmonte.
That's a good looker right there. 7 pin, the last to fall.
Again, another opportunity for Simonson to get back in it. He can cut the lead to 16 with a strike here in the 7th. This is how he gets his ball to Reed Davids. It's just softer speed. Keep in mind, he doesn't have near the rev rate as Belmonte. Big shot here on the left lane now. Can he overcome that bad shot in the 5th in the big split and open frame? He was working on a double, so not only is it an open, but he lost count as well.
There's flush.
You can see that ball looked like it was right of target, and it finished dead flush into the pocket.
So throws it right back at Jason Belmonte. A little shade thrown Belmo's way.
Next 2 shots, very telling in this title match for Belmonte.
Gotta hurry.
Again, another ball that was just late getting to the 1-3. And even with all his power, he can't get that soft 10 out. This was the one thing that was going to slow Belmonte down. Lack of friction or the pattern becoming very speed sensitive. Now, keep in mind, it was speed sensitive all week, but somehow it didn't really affect him. He started in at about 4th arrow from the get-go at the start of every qualifying block, and he just moved left from there and then just started lofting it. He never had a problem with down lane reaction.
Jason is 3-5 in TV finals as the top seed. He was in 1 last year in Detroit. Sean Rash beat him in a very low-scoring final, 178-161 in the PBA Detroit Open. That might be what he needed. Big smile there from Belmo.
Keep doing it. You know, I'm not sure how this affects Jason Belmonte's psyche, but I know for me, as a former player, I would be trying to figure out a way to get the ball to go flush, because in 8 shots, he hasn't gotten near flush. and he still has a 16-pin lead.
Well, that would be my point where I would kind of argue the other side, but he's still winning. If you tinker too much, right?
Yeah, but it's smoke and mirrors right now.
Yeah, that's true. Simonson through the face. Again, you could tell the telltale sign of standing up quickly. And that sleeper back there makes it a little bit tougher.
Oh, it completely changes the complexion of this spare. You throw the 3-6-10 up, not that big a deal. You put the 9-pin behind it, all of a sudden it becomes a real bugger.
Got it. Beautiful.
He got up there and threw it as hard as he could and was fortunate to carry the back pin, the 9-pin. But that was a golden opportunity for Simonson to win his second major. Now down by 20, 2 frames to go. No matter what, his max score is 205. Belmonte can still shoot 235.
Well, there's one way to get to that max score of 205 with a foundation strike in the ninth.
If Belmonte goes spare, strike, spare, we have the possibility of a tie.
And that would be a one-ball roll-off for a major championship. This is the beginning of big February on the tour. We've got a major next week in Oklahoma, and the week after that, the USBC Masters from Las Vegas. 3 championships, 3 time zones. There's closer to flush than for a blink of an eye. The 7-10 was standing, and they got knocked down.
Well, that shot looked very unusual for me as it came out of Belmonte's hand. Watch the follow-through. Follow-through was short and dead left, and that was an attempt to get his bowling ball to read sooner. Great pin action. A great result. Jason Belmonte is 1 mark away from capturing his 7th major title.
And quieting critics who wondered if he was slipping. Big loft. Big turn.
Yes!
Big lift.
Yes! Amazing. He never went dead flush, 1 shot, and he's going to win. Any questions about Jason Belmonte's struggles or what's wrong with Belmo? Like I said at the top of the show, nothing. Great champions always find a way to get it done, and that's exactly what Belmonte did.
Well, I do wonder about the attitude he took in this year, not worrying about being player of the year and thinking, you know what, I can maybe be player of the year this year. We'll leave a little behind there, but it doesn't matter. Jason Belmonte is your champion.
Number 7, guys. Number 7. Thank you, Columbus. Thank you.
And for Anthony Simonson at just 20 years old, you know he'll be back. Already a major champion. And was close, but lost to the man many believe was the world's best bowler, Jason Belmonte. What a satisfying, I don't know.
Everybody back home for waking up early. I love you so much, everybody. Coming home a winner.
A little shaving cream, which Belmo doesn't use that often.
Thank you, Barbasol. Thank you, PBA. Thank you, Storm. High Five, Ultimate Inserts, Dexter. Everyone that's been a part of this, thank you so much.
Congratulations to a great champion. Jason Belmonte has returned to the winner's circle. It was only 2 years. It might have felt to him like 20. But professional bowling has been served notice that Jason Belmonte has returned and has returned as a major champion. His 7th. Belmo never threw a flush strike. Didn't have to. Outlasting Anthony Simonson. Don't get any shaving cream on the commissioner. He is back as a champion. Jason Belmonte, 221 to 204 over Anthony Simonson. And Jason Belmonte picks up a 7th major championship here in Columbus at the Barbasol PBA Players Championship. Meantime, my partner Randy Peterson is standing by with Anthony Simonson.
Performance today, but it looked like you lost your ball reaction in the title match against Jason. What happened?
You know, they started to get a little funky. I didn't make the best of shots. There's a couple shots I should have stepped back. It's kind of been a problem throughout this week for some reason. You know, he bowled a great game, so you take it as a learning experience and move on to next week.
What about the ball change that you made on the right lane?
For me, the timeless is just getting a little too long and is a little changed direction a little too hard. So I wanted to go to something a little slower, slower response, which I'd been using all week, which was the alpha. You know, I thought it was the right choice, and the shots that I made good on that lane, they struck. The shots I didn't make good, they didn't strike.
Talk about the modification you made in your approach where you had to stand up in front of the ball return on the right lane, and you did the same on the left lane. Take us through that.
That's actually a trick I learned from another two-hander out here, Sean Maldonado. We bowl quite a bit together in the Southwest region. You know, it just helps me get my feet a little softer, or feet a little slower, hand a little softer, and be able to shape the lane a little bit easier.
Anthony, thank you so much for your time. Good luck next week, Tournament of Champions.
Thank you.
Absolutely. At his age, he's the youngest in the Tournament of Champions. Now, standing by with our champion is Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, Dave. I'm also joined by Dustin Abels of Barbasol and the commissioner of the PBA, Tom Clark. Tom, for the trophy presentation.
Thanks, Kimberly. On behalf of Barbasol, our great partner, and the PBA, Belmo, you're back in the winner's circle again. Congratulations, another major champion.
All right, Jason, he said it. You're back in the winner's circle. For all accounts, you had a good year, but this is the first time that you've won in 2 years. What does it mean to you to be back in this position?
It feels fantastic, Kimberly. 2 years is a long time to wait when you feel like you've been on TV quite a few times. So I just wanted to come out here. I just asked my ball very nicely to just knock them over as many times as it possibly could, and it did that. And I'm really beyond words.
When we talked at the top of the show, you said that you needed to get out of your own way. How did you do that today?
Well, actually, there was a young fella in the crowd who really made me laugh. He called me Banana Man. And I was eating a banana before the show, and I told him a story about it. And when he did that, I just felt like I'm here to have some fun, and he really helped me. So I'm going to give him something a little later.
So the fans totally helped you out today.
Absolutely. The fans all week here in Columbus have been awesome. The atmosphere in the bowling center, and I must thank Wayne Webb and all of his staff here. It's been fantastic. You guys are awesome. I can't wait to come back.
All right, well, congratulations, Jason Belmonte. You have won your 7th major.
Thank you.
Well done, Belmo. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, Randy. And thank you all for watching. And don't forget the State Farm CP3 PBA Celebrity Invitational is Friday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And then we'll do this again, 1 o'clock Eastern, the Fire Lake PBA Tournament of Champions from Oklahoma next Sunday. All part of Big February on the PBA Tour and on ESPN. We had a little bit of everything today. We had the great Wayne Webb in the building. Connor Pickford looking for a first major against A.J. Chapman, making his first start of the PBA Tour into the major finals. Anthony Simonson sought a second major and fell just short against the man many believe is the top bowler in the world right now and has been for years, Jason Belmonte. For Kimberly and Randy and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Dave Lamont. Thank you for watching the PBA Barbasol Tournament of Champions.